Today we're learning the intro to Wish You Were Here by the legendary Pink Floyd, one of the most requested songs on this channel. But more importantly, we're going to use it to learn some really useful guitar skills you can take to spice up your open chords. Hammer-ons and how to count them, splitting the bass and treble notes, creating little melodies that join chords together, and getting that really light, flowing strumming feel. It's not just about going through the motions with this song. There's a huge depth created within some very simple chords. So what do Pink Floyd have to teach us? Well, we're going to need a guitar. We're starting with the old favourites, 3 chords, G, E minor, and A. Nothing fancy yet, and that's the point. It's about what we do with them. So let's look at the first upgrade. This one pops up a lot, the ringing of the high E and B strings throughout the chord progression. The magic here is to keep these 2 fingers pressed down so that the B and E ring through those changes. So if you can hear those now, technically changes the names. We keep the J, the E becomes an E minor 7, and the A becomes an A sus4. And it creates an anchor point round which we can change these chords, and a nice through thread. A lot of songs use this technique. One that springs to mind that's incredibly popular, anyone recognise that? Anyway, back to Floyd. Now we've got the chords sounding bigger, we'll add the glue that sticks them together. We're going to stack up a few techniques in one go here as I work through the intro, chord by chord. 3 techniques specifically: melody notes that join the chords together, hammer-ons, and splitting the bass and treble strings. A bit of a closer view now so you can see what's happening. Now, instead of jumping straight into chords, Floyd's sliding with little melody notes, and by hammering them on in rhythm, they connect the chords like stepping stones. It's such a handy trick that you can drop into any progression. Starting with the E minor chord, which is now an E minor 7, we have 2 variations that get us into this chord. We'll start with the first one because this goes from the beginning of the song. We play open A string, hammer on to 2nd fret with the index finger, play open D and separately pick the D string 2nd fret with the index finger. We hold that in place and we plant ring and pinky onto the 3rd fret of the B and high E. We then take our pick or our thumb, fingers, whatever we're using, and very, very lightly strum the 3 highest strings. Down, down, up, down. Playing it through again with some things to consider. Keep this index finger pressed down on the D string. This note needs to ring while you're strumming the high strings, because together they create the sound of a chord. So moving on from this chord shape, we are now heading towards a G. So we keep the fingers in place on the chord hand and we pick the G string and then the D string. We take the index finger off of the chord hand and play the open D, but we keep the ring and pinky placed down. And then we strum the high 3 strings again. So open D, down, down, up. Remember, nice and light. They all need to ring into each other. We're now moving on to an E minor 7 chord again. So what we need to do here is, for our melody and hammer-on sequence, is plant the index and middle fingers into a G full chord position. So we have middle finger 3rd fret E and index finger 2nd fret A. And we play chord hand in the G position, play the E string, momentarily take the index finger off the string on the chord hand because we're going to hammer that onto the 2nd fret as we pick the A string. We then pick the open D string and then bring the index finger down on the chord hand to play the 2nd fret. That's the note that then rings out as we strum the 3 high strings. Down, down, up, up. So playing through that sequence. Cycling round to the next G, we're adding in an extra note on the melody to join. So we're keeping our hands in the position on the chord hand and we're playing D, G, D. And then we're back again to the open D string. And we rotate again back to that G chord. A quick recap over the sections from E minor 7 to G, and this happens twice before it moves on to the next chord shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The next chord section we're going on to is the A, which is now an A sus4. So we were on the E minor 7 portion. So fingers remain in that position, and how we get into the A sus4. We've got no hammer-ons in this section. We've got a little melody which plays index finger 2nd fret D and then open D. Index finger moves up, 2nd fret A, open A, and then we take the index and middle fingers of the chord hand and plant them onto the 2nd fret of the D and the G to create the A sus4 shape. In this, the A string is ringing out, and while that rings out, we play a slightly different strum for this section. Down, up, come back and play the open A string again. Down, up, down. So all together that chord section. To walk back into the E minor, we have the hammer-on onto the open and then the 2nd fret A, pick the D string, index finger then plays the 2nd fret D string, as we've done in previous sections. Down, down, up, walk back to the A, place the A chord, again the A sus4 chord, and then we've got the hammer-on, open A, 2nd fret A, and then pick the open D, and we plant the whole G chord, go into a light strum, We've got the melody notes and the hammer-ons spicing up those chord changes really nicely. The other thing to point out is at no point have we played all 6 strings on the guitar or even 5 until that very final G chord. And what we're doing is revealing each chord in a staggered manner. It creates so much more depth. Bass note, chord tones, melody, bass note, chord tones, melody, all ringing. Every chord is implied, but at no point are we playing E minor, G. We don't need to do that. We want to create that dynamic movement by just holding back, creating space, think light, leave breathing room. None of it's a heavy strum. We've got the hammer-ons and melody notes. Everything flows into each other. So now we're going to put it all together with a slower version. Counting and screen graphics should help you to understand where the hammer-ons and the melody notes fit. Are you ready to play along? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and Start slow, count it out, really focus on the feel. You've learnt skills in this lesson that will really level up your guitar playing. And to add to the bonus, you've just learnt how to play the intro to an incredibly classic, legendary guitar song. In this lesson, I show you 5 iconic picking riffs that will show you how to develop your picking skills. I'll see you next time.